Hey guys, Brian Delevich the Goods here. I'm returning to you for part 2 of the top 20 best albums of 2018. So I'm going to discuss through 10 through 1 and let you know why I put them there or whatever. So let's get into this. At number 10 we have Seven Dust, All I See Is War. Now this was a good album, mostly. There were a lot of good heavy tracks to enjoy, like Unforgiven, Dirty, God Bites His Tongue. Um, what else? Medicated, or whatever it's called. And my favorite one was The Truth, the final track. And Not Original was another good one. So there were a lot of heavy tracks to enjoy on this record, and it made it at my number 10. At number 9, we have Man with a Mission, Chasing the Horizon. Now, this is going to come across new to some people, but I put them at this spot because their album was actually pretty good. Their Chasing the Horizon, the title track, was my favorite. What else? Hey Now, 2045, Broken People, Break the Contradictions, and of course the singles like Dead End in Tokyo, Dog Days, Find You, The Anthem, Winding Road, The Winding Road, I already mentioned Hey Now, and Freak It, and My Hero. So this album did really good and was a good album to really enjoy, and it made it at my number 9. At number 8, we have the Amity Affliction Misery. This record was just talked about going through a bad depression or whatever and trying to come out of the other side of it, I guess. Or it's just discussing about feeling miserable or whatever. And there's a song on here called Feels Like I'm Dying, which talked about depression mostly, like physical depression in a way, I think. But overall, this song was really good, and it actually helped me get through a hard time. And so did Holier Than Heaven. Burn Alive was a good one. Ivy Doomsday was just a track to really jam out to. My favorite one's gotta be D.I.E. That was a good track. And overall, this record was very good, and it made it at my number 8. Number 7, Atreyu in Our Wake. This was a fantastic record. It wasn't like excellent or whatever, but it did very good. I think Blind, Deaf, and Dumb was probably my least favorite, but it still did good in a way to really jam out. But all 12 tracks of these were very good. And I think No Control was a favorite. Paper Castle, Superhero, I guess, was a favorite. House of Gold, Terrified, Safety Pin, Into the Open was a good one, and In Our Wake, the title track, was good, and so was The Time Is Now. So there were a lot of good tracks to offer on In Our Wake, and it made it at my number 7. Number 6 is Bad Wolves Disobey. Now, this album was pretty kick-ass. There were a lot of good, heavy songs to really offer. Good songs to jam out to. like No Masters, uh, Zombie, the remaker of Zombie or whatever. Like, it's remade, but it's the Cranberries cover for Zombie or whatever, or something like that. Officer Down was my favorite. Better the Devil was another good one. Jesus Slaves did have a lot of religion kind of problems with the song. Like I talked about, blind faith and religion. Hear Me Now was a good one. The final track, Toast to the Ghost, was my favorite. It was a great closer to end the album. And this, and Bad Wolves Disobey made it at my number 6. Number 5 is Shinedown, Attention, Attention. This record was kind of political and up in your face kind of album. Talked about how social media is a virus and all that. And Human Radio talks about mostly how we're corrupted by social media. Where it sings, keep moving subject matter around, keep your eye on the prize with your head on the feet on the ground. It mostly discusses about social media being a disease, and I like that track. Black Soul was my favorite. This album really discussed about someone going through depression and coming out of the other side at the very end, where Brilliant pretty much closes the record and brings out a good perspective in this person's and how this person's going to react at the end of the record and how he's going to overcome dealing with depression. So Attention, Attention was a very good record, and it made it at my number 5. At number 4, we have Charlie Puth, Voice Notes. This record was a good pop record. I liked the first song, The Way I Am, where he talks about I'm gonna be who I am mostly and show you who I am. Like, making this song mostly. Boy was a good one. Slow It Down was another good one. Somebody Told Me was a good dance kind of retro kind of song, and really brought out a good vibe to the viewer listening to it. There were a lot of good positive outlooks in this record and good songs to really enjoy. I think my favorite was How Long and Boy. Those were my two favorites, because Boy really had a good breakdown of the chorus, was very good, and How Long was kind of the second favorite because it doesn't beat the Boy song, unfortunately, because Boy was my favorite one on this record, and so was The Way I Am. And this record made it at my number 4. At number 3 is Starset Vessels 2.0. This was like an acoustic album, mostly. It had acoustic songs and remix songs for the original tracks from the Vessels album back in 2017. But the 2.0 one, there was only one new song that they offered, and that was Love You to Death. Kind of a cringiness, sexual, weird vibe kind of song that mostly discusses about sex. And it just, there's a lot of chilling, weird vibes coming off that song that I found. But overall, this song was good. I like the Telepathic, Not Your Dope remix. That was my favorite one. And yeah, this album made it at my number 3. At number 2 is Breaking Benjamin Ember. This would have made it at my number 1, but I saved the best for last. Ember had a lot to deal with, some depression, feeling like you're going through a darkness mostly. Like you're chasing through the dark, but you're coming out of the light with Close Your Eyes to end the record. Yeah, Close Your Eyes was pretty much the last song to really enjoy, and then it was Vega after that. But my favorite tracks were Down, Torn in Two, Tourniquet, Psycho, The Dark of You, Feed the Wolf, Red Cold River, and Blood. Those were my favorites. Well, pretty much all of them were my favorites, and this album made it at my number 2. And at number 1 is Crazy 88 Burning Alive. This was a new record that came out about 2 weeks ago, but this album was just wild, crazy good. And there were a lot of good tracks to offer, like I Am Tetsuo, Bastard from a Basket, what else? Shinebox, Tears and Rain, Nitroglycerin. Hannah was a pretty sad track. Talked about losing someone, a loss or whatever. And I think my favorite one was My Friends You Bow to No One, with the screamo and Lauren's voice. And this song was pretty epic. And this song pretty much closed the album to really get fans to be like, oh, what's next? What's next for Crazy 88 in this situation? Because it was a great, epic ending. And this album made it at my number 1. And it's the album of the year. That is going to be it for this top 20 best albums of 2018. I hope you enjoyed this review that I was doing for nominating off from 20 to 1 and 20 to 11 and now 10 to 1. Comment below, let me know your top 20 best albums of 2018. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. I will be returning to you Saturday for the top 20 best movies of 2018. So definitely stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.